And hello, and welcome to the stream. I think we're all live. Hope everyone is comfortable sitting down and yeah, just super ready for a stream. So, hello there. If you're watching the stream right now, then let me know. It would be great to have a little hello in the chat, just so I know who is watching. I can see there's already some people there writing. There's Schultz Division. Hello, hello, welcome Hilly. Hello, and Blixa. Hello. All you guys super welcome to the chat. And also this tonight's stream has been moved from last Thursday to today basically, just because I was busy Thursday. But yeah, so welcome to tonight's stream. If you are new to these streams, then basically the way it works is that I stream for at least 2 hours, maybe sometimes 3, maybe sometimes 4, and then I play a little bit of music in the background, and then I just do some kind of work. And there's always a theme associated with the stuff, and the tonight's theme is, as you can read in the title, is alien creatures. We've kind of done a little bit something similar in the past. We've done some creatures, but we're going to be doing something like that. We're going to be designing some creatures and just generally talking along the way. If you haven't joined these streams before, then you are super welcome to ask questions along the way regarding what I'm doing, or just anything else you fancy. I can see some other people here in the chat. Shadon, hello. Avela, hello. Dreelander, hello. And Tiango BC, hello. So that's awesome. Yeah, so tonight's stream, alien creatures. A lot has happened actually. I've cleaned my room recently, so that was well overdue, but it's great. And I also set up something extra, which I'll show you if I do this. I'm just gonna go here to this thing. Also, let me know if audio or anything like that is terrible. Then I will of course fix it. But you can see here, if you look at my face, I'll just click on something with my mouse. Oh. So basically I have actually 2 Elgato lights. I can also do it with the other one here. Boom, then everything becomes very dark and very moonlit. Ooh, that's interesting. But I have this big Elgato light going on up here, and so on and so forth. So it's just nice. I have 2 lights here, kind of beaming. So I'm a real super streamer now. That's just the life. And I also have to personally not apologize, but just I feel bad for Schultz out there. Schultz Division watching, he was waiting for an hour for the stream Thursday, even though it was announced that it was going to be Saturday, but it just happens. But I hope that I can make it up to you today by this one is dedicated to you, Schultz. There you go. That's how it goes. There's already some questions and stuff in the chat. Let's see here. Graby writes, love your work, looking forward to the stream. Well, I'm looking forward to you watching the stream. Avela asks here, I want to ask, do you make everything in Blender, or do you alternate between softwares? I know from your tuts you mainly use Blender, but do you have other softwares that you use? So for anything like art related, then I use Blender and Photoshop. And sometimes I do these like layouts with story and text on them. If you've seen on my ArtStation or at Reddit or something like that, those I kind of do the layout in something called Affinity Publisher, which is kind of like InDesign, but just cheaper and not as good, but pretty good. Very much good enough for what I need. DG asks, hello, started studying art basics and practicing digital art a few days ago. Looking forward to watching your streams to get some tips and experience out of them. Well, happy you are here. And Dreelander, what is your plan with Black Horizon? Will you release books, audio dramas, graphic novels, etc.? Ooh, that's a big question. There are so many plans with Black Horizon, you won't even believe it. So currently, I would say there's maybe like 5 different projects right now that Black Horizon is somehow related to, and they all spring out from me. Some of them of various kind of intensities, but I'll take that one as the big first thing. So Black Horizon, if for those of you who don't know, Black Horizon is a sci-fi world that I've been building for the past 2 years. So it's a world building project. It is quite a big project here. I just want to show you guys. I mean, lots of you people watching, you've seen this before, so you're gonna be, you know, oh my god, why do we have to watch this over and over again? I'm sorry, it's just how it is, you know, etc., etc., etc. So I have this project called well, technically Black Horizon started back in 2019, early 2019, and then I kind of been working on it on and off, but for the past, I would say 2 years, I've worked on it quite intensely. And Black Horizon is this world, a sci-fi world that I've made, containing all kinds of things. There's a lot of stuff in this world. It's a big cohesive universe, like something like Star Wars or Mass Effect or whatever, etc., etc., etc. And if you're really interested, then there is a video on my YouTube channel, on Critical Giants YouTube channel, called, let's go here, called The World Building of Black Horizon. If you just kind of want to know what the hell is going on and what this is all about, then you can check it right there. Then you will know. But yeah, so Black Horizon is first and foremost a universe. But then there are a couple of projects related to Black Horizon that is set in Black Horizon. So the first thing is that I'm currently working on a first-person parkour game, which is set in Black Horizon. It's not really the best place to show off the world, because it's kind of more like my love for game development, and I'm making this parkour game kind of in my spare time, and it's going slow, but I'm hoping to really pick up speed here in March or something like that. Then I get a lot of time to work on just that, so I'm very excited about that. So that's one thing. Then I am currently working on a card game with a friend, also set in the Black Horizon universe. The card game, we looked at it last time. You can check last stream. We kind of looked at that in the beginning. Pretty interesting. Then I was working for a little while on a RPG, like a tabletop RPG set in the world also, because I posted a lot on Reddit and I had a lot of requests. Like there was a couple of requests who were like, oh, could this be a tabletop RPG? That seems like a cool thing for that. And I was like, yeah, probably. So I worked on that for a little bit. You know, it's just multitude of projects. And then another big thing, I'm also working on something secret with Black Horizon, and that's secret because that's under NDA and those kind of things. So I can't say anything about that. But another thing with Black Horizon is that I'm currently building a Wikipedia for this world, which you can check on Black Horizon. So black-horizon-wiki.webflow.io, and it's a wiki I'm currently making. It's not super up to date or whatever, but it has a bunch of stuff already on it. You can click a race, for example, and then you can read about that specific thing. You can see some characters. You can click on a character, read a little bit about the character. It's lacking information, but some of them are more developed. Like this one has a little bit more content, and that kind of stuff. I actually just added a few things today, and I'm thinking that some of the stuff we're going to be making today, like some of the creatures, I will add to the wiki. So that'll be great, etc. So that's Black Horizon. There you go. I just lost my train of thought. That's not good for you guys. Let's see here. Black Horizon. Black Horizon. Yeah, that's what that is. And also, it's called The Arbiter's Memory of The Arbiter's Memory, a wiki on the world of Black Horizon, because every wiki needs to have a cool name. And there's this object or this entity in Black Horizon called the Arbiter, which is this like the main brain of like this machine race called the Vox, which is like, you can read about it over here somewhere. This is the Vox, and then there's this thing called the Arbiter. There you go. And this one judges what is right and wrong for the machine race or whatever. And it has a vast knowledge of the entire galaxy, so it's kind of its knowledge of the world. There you go. Other stuff here. Let's see. I hope that answers the question, Dreeland. I'm assuming it did. It etc., etc., etc. Schultz division. You can make it up to me by remembering the save button. Wow, okay, amazing. Avela, Black Horizon, what is that? There you go. I think you got that answered. Marco, hell yeah. Django, what tablet do you use when sketching? This. I use this tablet right here. It's called an XP Pen Deco 01. Or V2 Deco XP Pen Deco XP Pen Deco 0V2. This one. I used to use a Wacom tablet for. You can't see what I'm telling you. There you go. That's the tablet that I use. XP Pen Deco 01 V2. And it's nice. I like it. It has a small footprint on my table, which I really like. I think it's pretty comparable to a Wacom tablet. I would say the drivers are a little bit less stable, so sometimes it's a hit and miss. But right now it's working great for me, and it's like 1/4 the price of a Wacom tablet. And it's not 1/4 the performance; it's the equal performance for sure. And this pen is absolutely as fine as a Wacom tablet. So yeah, it's pretty good. Avela asks, only question I have about Black Horizon is how do you stay consistent with that 3-year project? How I can stay consistent? I guess it depends on what you mean by consistency. So I'm definitely not consistent in terms of, let's say, the quality of the art, not the art style, but the quality of the art. It varies a lot, like depending on what I need. And sometimes I do a sketch, and sometimes I do, sometimes I do an illustration or something like that. Whatever the thing needs. In terms of art style, then I think quite early on I kind of really defined what kind of universe it was that I was interested in making, and I think there's a few pillars kind of that make the universe what it is, and one of those things is there's some obvious references and inspirations from things like Star Wars and Mass Effect and Halo and all kinds of other sci-fi universe that are out there. But the main thing for me was that I always thought the look of Star Wars had one of the best visual identities and looks of things, but it was more fantasy than sci-fi, to be honest. It is sci-fi fantasy, and I wanted to make something that was more sci-fi. So I would say it's a more grounded version of Star Wars, I think, is kind of what I imagined the visual identity to be, which means that things kind of obey physics a little bit more, so ships might be shaped a little bit more aerodynamically from time to time, etc. It's still all sci-fi, and there's still science that isn't real science and those kind of things, but it's more grounded than something like Star Wars. But I also wanted things to be quite dramatic, so we don't have this just like dark dystopian cyberpunk world. It's a lot more I don't know how to best describe it, but it's you have this pretty big variation. I think you have some things that look like this, just golden ships, just like ready to kind of party and dance and tell you that it's awesome. I also have things that look like this kind of like more dark religious cult-like things, and you got these kinds of things, and I think these kind of contrasts, you'll see that a lot in Black Horizon. You'll see something very striking, like a big red temple on a kind of gray, noisy surface. I think that kind of like bold contrast is something I really like. You'll see something similar here, like the contrast is not the same, but you see there's kind of very flat and then something quite bold, and then over here you can kind of just glance it. There's like a rectangle that is basically a big mirror, and it's actually a ship. It's a very thin, narrow ship that's essentially a mirror. And you have these kind of things with like a massive hologram in front. But you also have these kind of things that are a little bit more close to something maybe we have now in terms of like technology. So you got these spindly things. You wouldn't necessarily see something like this in Star Wars, right? And gravity a lot more has to kind of obey certain laws, etc., etc., etc. And ships also, when they leave planet surfaces, they kind of get raised up and flung into space vertically, instead of just hovering and flying. There's no real hovering. You still have to respect kind of orbital mechanics and those kind of things. And I think once you've defined some of those like features of the world, like okay, it needs to be more grounded, but it needs to be visually striking. It's realistic. What are the themes, right? It's like I have a one of the big themes in my thing is that I have this big empire called the Julian Empire, which looks like this, right? So hopefully immediately there'll be some like striking resemblances to like the Empire, right, in Star Wars, right? But they don't look as dark and cruel. They don't look as villainous, which is kind of, that's the intention. They're not supposed to. They're kind of supposed to give that vibe of the Empire, but they're not supposed to look evil in that sense, because it's more of a gray zone. Definitely, there's not really like good and bad, so they can look like the good guys sometimes, you know. They can appear a bit more heroic, even though they're not, right? So once those like things are defined, then it becomes a lot more easy to stay consistent, because I know what I need things to feel like, you know. And these guys, they're like a religious cult, right? They're like a big religious faction, and then their stuff looks like this. It looks a lot more monumental, and in many ways it looks more evil and more like something like a Sith or something would have, right? But in the actual story, they are not necessarily the bad guys. They're actually kind of sometimes, more often, the good guys, but then they look like they are kind of the bad guys. So, you know, I'm aware of what I want things to feel like. So that's how I stay consistent, I would say. Also, this is a good idea. Like, so this is kind of the striking contrast that you'll often see. Like, you have a ball and then just a dagger piercing it. That kind of contrast is something like that. Other questions. Schultz Division, did you see the trailer for the Kung Fu Panda movie? The villain is called Chameleon. Yes, I saw that one. When shapeshifting and the skin look when shifted is really interesting in my opinion. Yes, it is actually kind of interesting. I did actually see that trailer. That was very interesting. DG, how have you been moving to protect the intellectual property? You registered the IP, or how does it work? Aren't you considered that some could steal the IP? I don't really know how it works legally. Okay, so in terms of like IP and stuff, then there's such a thing called copyright, right? Copyright is interesting because copyright is basically a universal law, at least in kind of countries that respect copyright. So, for example, the EU and the US and most developed countries, right? They kind of respect copyright. It's different with some countries. They will not respect the copyright of other countries. You know, famously, we know that countries like China might, you know, infringe on the copyright of Western countries or other countries or whatever, right? But copyright is something when you have something that you created that is original and is not a copy of something else that is, you know, reasonably considered original content, then you have copyright of it. That means that if somebody took like all my stuff basically and just slapped a new name on it and said like this is Dark Horizon, and I could prove that this is basically like 90% of this work is like what I've done, they just copied over there, then it's automatically protected. I don't have to do anything. That's just copyright law. And it goes the same thing if you made an image or something like that, then that is protected by copyright law, right? That doesn't mean that people can't abuse it. If, like, there are criminals, you know, who will still abuse it or illegally and stuff like this. That's one thing. Another thing is fair use. Fair use is put in place to not make copyright too powerful, right? So fair use is like, if you watched the latest Dune movie or something, you want to do a review about it on your YouTube channel or something like that, then you can show some clips from Dune, from the films, and talk about it in a review. That is fine, because it's transformative. You know, you're taking that original content and you're transforming it into a different purpose, which is a review of said film, and that goes under fair use. There's also fair use in other things, but generally fair use is meant to, you know, let us use stuff and like have a little bit of freedom to use it. But for example, if you wanted to take Black Horizon and transform it into your own sci-fi IP, then that would not be considered fair use because the subject is not transformative or whatever. I'm not an expert at these things. I don't take my legal advice. I've had to look these things up for my own stuff, etc., etc., etc. We'll get to the creatures also. If there's somebody out there who's like, please stop talking, when will we get to the stuff I came here for? We'll get to it. I'm so sorry, but there's questions. And then there's trademark. Trademark is more like you trademark certain aspects of your project, right? So I could trademark a logo, so that's why you'll see Star Wars and there'll be like a TM next to it, and not a copyright, but a TM. TM means that the logo Star Wars has been trademarked. That means that somebody can't use that without consent from Disney, right? From Disney, in terms of like commercial usage and things like this. I have considered trademarking some of the stuff in my IP just for protection. You can also trademark things like Mickey Mouse, for example. So you can trademark a character. You can trademark various things to have it in a certain way, and to control the things. Currently, my IP is documented on the internet, and that just means that there's a direct source to me. Direct trail to me as the original creator, so I own this. And yeah, I think most people are a little bit more close to the chest with their things. They'll be like, oh, I don't want to share too much about this stuff, and I haven't shared everything, and yeah, somebody might look at something and then steal some aspect of it, and that's just the case. But I want to get it out there to people because I want people to enjoy the content and learn about it, so I can make it bigger. I hope that answered that question. Oh, and I measured my beard before the last shave, and it was 47 centimeters long. For your guys' information, Schultz Division has a rather amazing, it's called chin braid beard. Is it a braid or is it just? I think I can't remember. There's a picture on Discord, I think. DG, I bought the XP Pen Deco M as starting tool. So far, it has so far not having issues with the size of it. Would you say that a bigger model could help with range of motion, etc., or really just depends on the person? So in terms of tablet, I think there is general philosophy is that bigger is always better for your physical health. That's just how it goes. When you draw, you want to avoid drawing with your wrist as much as possible. You want to draw from your shoulder, and the bigger your tablet is, the more naturally you're going to have to move bigger parts of your arm to do the same motion. So a bigger tablet will just be healthier. The smaller the tablet you have, the more you are increasing your chance of carpal tunnel syndrome or other injuries or something. Because like small repetitive movements like this, that's kind of the worst thing you can do to your hand. You want to be able to draw big as much as possible. I think it's a very focused exercise to just like try to draw with your shoulder. But I would say the biggest thing is actually posture. So one thing is to draw from your shoulder, but then also posture. Like I try to maintain a good position here. I make sure that I have good space on my table to rest my arms, etc. All those things for maximum comfort. Vela, you answer my question in terms of consistency in the art style. Okay, cool. That's great. Blick says, Boang, like the Expanse. Okay, I guess, yeah. The Uni Empire design reminds me a bit of Vitramites from Invincible webcomic. That makes sense. That's cool. I've been watching the Invincible series on Amazon Prime. DG, I thought the same. Okay, yeah. See, thanks. How do you know when to stop regarding a design? That's what I find the hardest. When is it perfect? You know what I mean? Right, okay. So, holy smokes, like we're 25 minutes in and haven't done anything. I'm gonna answer your question, Schultz. I'm just gonna draw a creature so that everyone can be like, okay, it has been done. There we go. And it has 4 eyes. There, that's why we notice it. Oh, it just looks like it's a derpy thingamajig. There we go. That's a creature. I'm also gonna put on some music in the background just to whatever. Gonna play that now, and then it might be a little bit loud or annoying. You have to let me know if you want to know what the music is. Here's a list of all the music, and there you go. Okay. So, gonna turn this down. In terms of design, okay, but I guess we can use that to actually move into a like the creature stuff here. So the question was from Schultz, how do you know when to stop regarding a design? That's what I find the hardest. When is it perfect? You know what I mean? Okay. So there's 2 aspects of a design, right? Like when we're talking art, at least. Then there is when is the design? Let's see here. There's the idea for the design itself, right? So when is your idea for the design good, right? That's one thing to kind of keep in mind. So maybe your idea is maybe I have one for weapons here that's very whatever, right? It's like, okay, my idea for weapon here is a gun. So that's just ignoring the visuals, right? A gun for a rifle, right? A rifle that uses kind of this like spin chamber mechanism to fire bullets, right? So the way it uses this chamber is that like it will grab a bullet like there, and then it'll spin it around in here, generating massive amounts of speed, and then it'll woof out the gun, right? Woof out the gun, right? So it's a spin. So that's the idea for the gun, right? Then you're like, okay, cool. Then you're kind of defining things like, okay, what level of technology should it be? What problem am I trying to solve here, right? And it's designing this gun or whatever. It needs to be wieldable by a human person. All those practical stuff, right? It's like, okay, then you have your problem, right? Then once your design is solving those problems, then I would say you're like 85% there, right? In a way, in terms of like, okay, I've solved all the practical, mechanical, or solved the idea itself. Like if we went with this idea, it would work and it would roll and it would be fine in production, whatever. Then you're like, okay, how do I know when it's like good? Like when is it like an interesting design? When does it feel unique? You know, and that's that thing where sometimes something is interesting because it's just visually striking, and sometimes it's interesting because the idea is just great, right? I think the idea of the Millennium Falcon isn't that crazy, right? It's a wedge shape. It's a circle with a little wedge on the top, and it's the hero ship. But the shape is quite iconic, and we know it from the film. So it's like, okay, why did it work? Well, it looked interesting, right? But the idea isn't necessarily that interesting. On the other hand, something like a lightsaber, right, is one thing is like it visually obviously is quite striking, but the idea is like really the thing that you're like, oh, right, like you just have a hilt, and then when you press a button, a beam of light comes out, and that's now a sword, right? You're like, oh, okay, but that could have been designed in many ways, right? It didn't have to be this colored beam of light. It didn't have to be this round thing. It didn't have to have this like very metallic thing. It could also look more bulky or something like that. But I think if lightsabers had existed in Star Wars and they weren't, and they didn't look exactly like this, but it's still the same principle, you know. If they're more square and maybe more plasticky or something, maybe they didn't look as clean. I still think they would have been a big deal, and people would still have liked them. You know, you could also have done a lightsaber like the Mass Effect blade. I can't remember what it's called. This one, right? They could have been like, oh, this is the lightsaber. It's this hologram plasma thing or something, right? And probably it would also become iconic in its own way, but I do think that there was a combination of the lightsaber and the idea, like the visuals for the lightsaber, that just escalated into into people's mind, right? It seems so tangible. There's a reason why there isn't a sport called the Mass Effect Hollow Blades. I don't know what they're called, and etc. etc. I think it's much harder to figure out what this is, right? I think the Halo Blade, whatever it's called, Energy Blade, right? This thing, it's a little bit more iconic. It's a little bit more kind of like a lightsaber. It has that quality, and I think it's somewhere in between kind of the Mass Effect Blade and Star Wars. I think people are much more attached to this than something like the Mass Effect Blade, and I think just design-wise. So to answer the question here, it's like, when do you know when it's perfect? I think it's it really comes down to the fact of like, is it solving your problem, right? And then is it interesting to look at? I want to give you an example that just a little bit more. So this was one example. Then I think for me, for example, I was designing this machine race, right? So this is a race of machines that they were originally developed to look like this, right? So there's kind of some obvious, maybe like Boston Dynamics kind of vibes, right? So just like, it looks like a robot with shell parts and things. It looks very human-made or man-made or something like that, right? And then they kind of grew a consciousness, and then slowly they started developing their own bodies, right? And started developing their own frame. And I wanted something that looked a little bit like organic. So I was thinking, okay, if they develop their own bodies, then they must have maybe looked like AI generated what's it called, chassis or something. Maybe you've seen these ones, like these ones, right? I was thinking about those kind of looks. So this is an AI, a program that generated the optimal frame for a chassis or something, for a car, right? Something like that. So I was kind of keeping that in mind. It's like, okay, that's kind of what generated stuff feels like. So I was trying to incorporate that a little bit with some of these elements, just to give that hint in terms of the design. And then they were supposed to look kind of menacing and dangerous. Not that they are dangerous, but that's the impression that everyone has of them, and that's the feeling I want people to feel when they first meet them. So that's kind of how they came to look like this. And also they're all very intelligent, so I thought it would be interesting if they had kind of heads that were kind of owl-like. I don't know if you feel that, but I feel like it has a slight owl quality, and the way the head is, it's a little bit, it's definitely not a human face, but the way the head is, it kind of has this owl-like quality, or at least it's something I was thinking about, and etc. etc. And for me, the design really worked when it was hitting all those things. Like, okay, it feels like that, it feels like that, it feels like that. In terms of the drawing, right, like this, the design I think is great, but the drawing here is kind of, whatever. Like, there's lots of mistakes. It's just sketch or whatever. And this I spent far more time on than doing something like this armor. I'm not particularly happy with this armor. I'm not really sure exactly what this is. I think here I was much more unsure about what I wanted it to represent. It was like, oh, protection for this guy, but yeah. So that was the feeling. And then another quality of these guys was the fact that they are all because everything is an AI and a machine brain and stuff like this, then all the vehicles and things are just very flat and are built to not have a cockpit, right? So this is a ship, right? But you can see it doesn't really look like there's a cockpit in it or something like that, right? It's just flat because it doesn't need a cockpit, because it just operates on its own. That's what it was supposed to feel like. So I don't think I ever pursue perfection. It's more like, is this design right, and does it work for what I want to communicate? And if it does those things, then I think it's perfect, because there's other ways of doing the same thing that I was doing. And yeah, that's really my best answer to that thing. I hope that's satisfactory. But yes, I feel like knowing when something is done is always the difficult part. Most projects end up being incomplete because I just don't know if it's done or needs more detail. Nothing's ever done. A film is just released. It's never done. It's just released. And the same goes with everything. But if it's communicating and doing the things that you want to communicate, then it's good enough to release, I think. Yeah, yesterday I had painful hands from drawing. Gonna try use my shoulders and arms more and my wrist less. Thanks. Try that. And also, don't use your pen for everything. I make sure to switch to my mouse as often as I can. Even when I'm in Photoshop, I switch to my mouse sometimes to do something like box selecting or just to give my hand a break. Literally, like it's good and those things. And I refuse to use my pen in Blender for anything other than sculpting. Then I'll use my mouse just to get a break and to do something different. Okay, I think I handled the bulk of the questions there. I'm so sorry for anyone who was really hoping to see some creatures. It is what we want to do. So, creatures. I want to make some creatures. And I actually had this idea for some creatures that I really wanted to share. And I want to see if I can just quickly find them over here. Let's see, maybe they are on. Ooh, I don't know which one is which one here. Nope, that's not it. Maybe we can go to No, that's not it. Maybe I have it over here somewhere. I have a picture of it right over here. Hold on one moment. There we go. This. I don't know if you can see what this is. I kind of had this idea that it'd be really fun to make some posters with some creatures, because I really like making creatures, and I thought it'd be fun to make kind of in-universe posters, or like posters about some creatures in the universe, and then I would do like a bunch of creatures for a specific planet or something like that. So you have the planet of Guardia or something, and then maybe these are some of the creatures on that planet, and then I would give them some colors and some names and stuff, and then you could get the poster if you wanted to get the poster, or just look at it as a digital file. That's up to you. But I would want to make it available as a poster. I thought that could be really fun, because this looks kind of interesting. I did this in like 2 hours or something just to test and see if that would be nice. But then, yeah, I thought that could be super fun to do something like that. So I want to do that. So I'm gonna create a new file here. I'm gonna make it 70 by 100, and I'm actually gonna start it out as a poster basically. So we're just gonna be drawing some creatures on this thing here. So I have a question now here for the chat. We're gonna really just like freeform this, okay? We're gonna invent a planet, or I don't know. No, actually, let's do. I'll tell you about some things that we'll do. Then you guys can suggest some things. That's what I really want. I want to show you this. I have this specific planet called Tumak. Okay, so there's this planet in the world of Black Horizon called Tumak, and they have like a main species, right? An intelligent species called the Tomaki, and they look like this. They kind of have 4 fingers like this. They're a little bit heavy set, and they kind of have quite wrinkly skin. Yeah, they also kind of look like this, etc., etc., etc. And Tomaki is like a desert-y planet. Basically, I've described it as basically Australia as a planet, kind of. Make sense? So that's the kind of biome you would imagine. So mostly desert, little bit of lakes here and there, like quite rare, and then a little bit of green here and there, but still a little bit of stuff. But overall, a desert planet, but not quite a desert planet like Arrakis and Dune or Tatooine or something. It has a little bit of a biome. And the only creature I know that exists on this planet right now is the Tamaki Starkhound. Okay, so this one is going to be part of our poster, or creature poster thing here, right? So this one's going to be part of it, and then we are gonna make some additional creatures. So we need to create a bunch of creatures for this biome. So if you guys have any ideas of like what should be on this planet, then I think now is the time to shoot, and we'll start writing down some ideas. So we have this Tamaki Starkhound. As you can see, it's like a 4 meter long big hound. And the way I'm going to be designing the creatures is that we're going to be creating different lineages of animals. So you know, on Earth, right, we have mammals, we have reptiles, we have fish, we have insects, we have all these different lineages, and we're going to have to think about those lineages in a little bit consistently, just to help us and to minimize some of the decisions we have to make. I'm just going to turn the music down here a little bit. It's kind of aggressive. So one lineage is this, like these guys, you know, I don't know other animals that might look like these guys, and these guys have wrinkly skin. This is super interesting. They have wrinkly skin in the same way that elephants have wrinkly skin. You know why elephants have wrinkly skin? Does anyone know? Basically, elephants have wrinkly skin because it maximizes the amount of skin area they have for the volume the volume of the elephant, right? So the wrinkly skin helps them have more kind of skin surface per area, and that helps them dissipate heat more efficiently out of their body if they need to do that. So it's a body temperature regulation thing, and the elephant has found out that, like, oh, I'll just have really wrinkly skin. It's the same reason why the rhino and stuff like this has wrinkly skin also. It's a similar strategy right there. Okay, damn, a lot of stuff going on here. So we need to include some animals here, and the way I did it before was that I kind of structured them like this. So any furry, like do you mean, like, are you saying like furries as in the kind of the sexual thing, or like just anything that has like hair, kind of like a cat or a dog? Like fur and hair. Yeah, there's definitely lots of aliens that have hair and fur. Like, I mean, on this planet there could be hair and fur on some of the creatures. So this is kind of how I've been dividing it. So up here we want to draw some stuff that's maybe in the air, some stuff that's on the land, and maybe some stuff that's in the ocean. Tumak doesn't really have like big ocean life, so maybe it's more, maybe it's something else. We'll figure that out. Just gonna bring in this this wolf here, the Tamaki Starkhound. I think it's, where do I have it? I want to have it here. There we go. What is this? Lol. That's funny. Take that wolf. I pull it over into our thing here, and now we have our first contender. A planet closing in on extinction giant asteroid has been approaching the planet for decades. Planet has fallen. Government, every animal for themselves, creatures adapts to the environment. So I can tell you the history about Tumak, or like the current status of Tumak. There's currently a king on Tumak, which this king is called Yarik, and Yarik is the king Tumak and kind of rules, not with an iron fist, but is the de facto ruler of the country, but the of the planet. But the whole planet is basically in one big civil war, where 1/3 of the population is part of kind of the Tamaki rebels, and they are trying to establish a democratic republic instead of the kingdom that is currently in control, and that's kind of the struggle of this planet. Yeah. Okay. So we have that. Also gonna see if we can bring in Yarick here, just for scale reference. That might be nice. So this one is 2 meters, 4 meters long. So it's something like this is kind of the size here. And Yarick used to be a pirate, and was roaming the galaxies, and then he somehow came home, and through some unfortunate incidents he ended up becoming the king of the planet. But he used to be a pirate, and the leader of the rebel group on the planet also used to be a pirate, but was kind of like returned home and was like, no, let's build an actual society for my people. Tamakis are generally looked down upon in the galaxy because everyone thinks they're pirates, because lots of them are pirates, and that's just how it has been. And then yeah, we have Oma, who's a female. Females and males don't look that different. Oma, she's the leader of the rebel group. Bum, 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 bum. And females are much more rare on Tamaki. There's like for every 4 male, there's 1 female, basically. Okay, we need some other creatures. So if anyone has a specific idea for a creature we could do on this desert planet, then I'm all ears. I'm thinking that we could use something that this one hunts, right? And what if we got something like a desert creature? A desert creature. Maybe desert animal here. So the camel is kind of the obvious one, right? Like a camel kind of creature. Fox thing here. And we're gonna have some other animals that are similar to this one. In terms of structure, you can see this one's quite alien in look. I think I always imagined that this one was red to kind of reflect the very red sun that is on the planet, and the very red sun, it by having red coating, then it reflects all the red light basically, so it has that color to avoid being burned, essentially. Okay, what about so with these creatures, the way I'm thinking about it is just like, what kind of function does it have, and then what kind of shape will support that function. Maybe we need something that is how big should this actually be? Could it be that it's just smaller? Maybe this is a creature that this one hunts, but these guys also ride. Maybe it's kind of dinosaur-like. Or like turtle-like, but just a little bit faster. So if they're walking on like desert sand kind of, then maybe they have these camel kind of feet. Something like that maybe. And then you can kind of imagine one of these guys riding it, right? Like sitting here, kind of riding that creature. And then maybe it has more of a head like that. And then here we're just establishing some of the big muscle zones. Like that. And maybe it has hairs kind of associated like this, kind of. Which is quite dinosaur-like. There's a few dinosaurs that have this feature, but I think it looks quite nice. An octopus living beneath the sands. That sounds cool. I also thought about buried creatures, maybe with some parts sticking out the surface, either as a way to radiate heat or even as a lure, maybe resembling a plant, therefore attracting herbivores. I like all those ideas. Those ideas are great. I'm gonna steal those things. It's fair use, you know. It's I'm transforming it into a drawing. See, that's why I told you to not take legal advice from me. Okay, let's see here. So we got this guy here. Also, somebody to give this guy a name. A Desert Strider or something like that. And I've also planned on taking some of the creatures from the other stream and incorporate them into some of these like a poster or something. I don't actually know if this is the right scale here, but I'm gonna put this guy in. I'm gonna remove this guy here. He gets to live here, and we are gonna just give this a little bit of a square here, something like this, and it's gonna have a blending option to fill there. This is just a little border to make sure that everything is nice and neat within some kind of boundary. Like that. I can bring this to the top here. So hopefully we'll be doing a bunch of creatures. That's kind of the cool thing. Place this somewhere. Maybe this actually should be below. Then the Stockhound can be. Maybe. Actually fits quite well there. I also love to do some kind of scale thing where the scale is a bit more accurate. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Oh, a Passepartout, yeah. Could have been a Passepartout. And then we'll bring this in here. And we have to do, I still don't know font wise what I want to do, but it's gonna be something like the fauna on the planet of, not the fauna, the fauna on the planet of Tomac. And it could be a it's just gonna take so much space. Oh, that's already what it says. Could do Brandon Grotesque again. It's just, I don't need this text right now. Or no, I don't need it to be finished. I just need to have something that's somewhat accurate, so I can start imagining what the whole thing's gonna look like. There's something about that I'm not terribly mad about. Let's see here if I can extend this a little bit. Maybe I can give this like a 200. Maybe even like a 500. Something like that. And then these guys could be getting, if I give this a 500, then how small does it have to be? 36, too small. 60. Closing in. Something. Okay. And we have to save for Schultz. Save as Horizon here. We'll do a new folder here called poster. We'll call it the Tomac Fauna poster. Okay, yeah, something like that. Cool. And we have our guy here. I don't really know where to put this guy yet. Hey, it's also not exactly the right one to put here, maybe. We should put this one on the bottom, actually. I'm kind of aiming for 16 creatures. Yeah. That's kind of the current goal here. Okay, so we got that one. Desert creatures. Okay, I like that. So some kind of a lure creature. That's awesome. So how would we best... What if we have something that is in a similar family to this thing, but it kind of uses a... What would it use? Maybe something... What if there's something that has like water in it or something like that, where it lays out a little bowl of water, and then somebody comes with a drink, and then the spring, the trap springs basically. How would that even look? Maybe it kind of looks like this insane mouth. It's kind of like this. It kind of has like a mole-like body or something, maybe. So we got something. It's also a little bit penguin-like, I guess. But maybe the arms kind of sit like here. And then so this is the whole mouth right here, right? It's quite extreme, but I like it. I do like it. I think it is very interesting. And then I don't know, maybe it's a little bit smaller, this one here. Maybe it's like kind of this size or something. And then you have to imagine that like the sand kind of sits. That's not the sand color here. Sand kind of sits like there. Like there, right? And then some, I mean, there's maybe water inside of this here. You know, something like that basically. And then a creature comes over and it's like, I'm just gonna draw like a generic ostrich-like creature. Or maybe more like a super buff ostrich creature. And it comes over and then the trap snaps basically, and it's caught like that. That's pretty cool, honestly. That's kind of cool. A carnivore camel. What about mountains and rocky terrains on Tumark, since the topography would influence the species? I'm thinking about mountain goats, snow leopard, and other. Yeah, 100%. Let's do something like that also. Right now we got this thing, so that's awesome. We got our creature here. Kind of in the sand. I'm kind of curious about more of these like under the surface creatures. What about something that is like a turtle? So it could also be from this family, like, and it can have these like hardened things. The brush I'm using right now is, I don't actually know where it's from. It might be, no, I don't know, but basically it kind of looks like this. It's almost like a calligraphy brush. Sometimes also use this one instead. It's pretty similar, but this one just has a little bit more resolution. Actually, I might use this one. Okay, let's just do one more here. And then we'll do this like big kind of turtle-like thing, or pangolin kind of thing. With a let's see. Something similar to that thing here. Let's see, and then we have that thing going on. No, the guy definitely looks like the John Silver from Treasure Planet. Absolutely true. I was probably thinking about that when making it. Kind of has that vibe, I think. That like the yeah, I'm a big pirate guy. You know, that's the kind of vibe. There's a main story in Black Horizon, and that main story, Yarick plays an important role in that. It's like one of the first characters we actually meet. We get to discuss. I don't like this one. Maybe I can squeeze it in here instead. Hmm. Trying to make something that's pretty fortified. But maybe it just needs to be more like a turtle. Some more like here. More like that. And then maybe more like that here. Something like that. Okay, that feels pretty cool. Actually. And then here this thing can come out and be quiet. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. And then here we get these big fat legs here, something like that. Remember the name? We need some insect stuff. Okay, something insectoid. I mean, there are technically no insects on this planet because insect only exists on Earth, right? So we have our own, but we can make something that's insecty, insect-like. There's some really cool desert insects out there, to be frank. In general, there are some on Earth. Okay, we have these guys here, like that. And then we want some kind of insect-like thing. Maybe we can have something a bit more. Yeah, that feels kind of nice. Freaking love bugs. I'm just gonna take a 5-minute break so I can get a refill on today's sponsor, Hayden Bearable. They're not sponsoring, it's just a joke. But I'm gonna get, because this one's kind of old, I want to get a new one, and I want to get a snack or something. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, back a little bit early. Sorry if anyone's. I'll just give it 3 minutes before properly starting. But I got myself a. How do you do that? A fresh thing. I don't think this is from Carlsberg. This is Harbo, right? And I don't think Carlsberg owns Harbo. Pretty sure it's just Harbo. Harbo. It's just a raspberry drink. It's a raspberry drink. I just always drink these drinks. And because I just can't have enough raspberry, I also have these, which is just like cheap little kind of white chocolate balls with a nut inside them, and then it's covered in like a raspberry coating and passion fruit, and they are delicious. Yeah. I hope all you guys watching have your own snacks. I hope that and I hope that you're enjoying them. Okay, nice. Are we kind of back? Yeah, we could probably start more or less now. Did I miss anything in the chat here? Blake's freaking loves bugs. Awesome. DJ asks, did anyone try Helldivers 2? No, but I was actually supposed to try it last Thursday. So, okay. The reason why we didn't have a stream last Thursday was because I had managed to arrange a LAN party with 3 other friends, and which was great. Like, and for some reason it was only Thursday where it was possible. So like Thursday we're gonna do a LAN party. So we were up until 2 o'clock in the night, and we were like, oh, what should we play? And we started off playing. We're actually doing the LAN parties just so we could play Helldivers 2 on release. But then we were kind of like, oh, we should really play the Halo Infinite campaign, because we've been talking for a long time. We never got around to play the Infinite campaign. And then we're like, let's play the Infinite campaign. And it just wasn't. It wasn't that good. And it's not because maybe the campaign itself is good, like the story or whatever, if you're a Halo fan. But it just like for play co-op, it was like, first of all, it wasn't challenging enough, and it was just very repetitive. And the most fun we had was shooting each other instead of shooting the enemies. So, you know, like 4 people get in a car, and then somebody just throws a sticky mine on the car itself, and then everyone blows up. Or we were trying to like kind of use the grappling gun with the hook shot, whatever it's called, to zipline on each other. So one person would like grapple gun, and then the next person would grapple gun that person, and the next person would grapple gun, and it results in one person at the end just being flung across the map, which is absolutely hilarious. But then we only played that for a little bit, and then instead we played, and I want to hear if there's any people who like that game, Risk of Rain 2. Risk of Rain 2? Risk of Rain 2. It's I played Risk of Rain back in the day when the original Risk of Rain came out, and that was a cool game. It's pretty tough, but Risk of Rain 2 was super fun. Actually, it was great fun. It's not quite up there with like Deep Rock Galactic for me personally. Deep Rock Galactic is just top tier co-op experience. I don't think it's probably the best co-op game out there. Period. But Risk of Rain 2 was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. I just played it this morning also, and it was just it was a fun experience. And I'm still considering maybe playing Helldivers 2. I did play the first one a little bit, but yeah. But it did look a little bit repetitive, and it looked like they spent a bit too much time on the aesthetics and the visuals. Not that I complain, but maybe they should spend a bit more time on some gameplay variation, maybe? Who knows? Just one man's opinion. But it is the same team who did Magicka back in the day, and Magicka is amazing. I love Magicka. Okay. Helldivers 2 will save you from disappointment. That game is so good. Okay. Okay. Probably will try it at some point. That's what I just said. I just said that the Helldivers people are at the Magica Arrowhead Studios. Didn't I just say that? Maybe I was mumbling at the same time. But yes, DG. It's okay. We can know the same things and feel cool. I just feel cool that you also know it. It's like, yeah, that's just some cool knowledge to have right there. Insects. That's what you guys are saying. Insects, what do you want to see? What about giant flying insects? Massive dragonfly insects or something. Okay, let's see here. You mean cultured man children? Man child? Man children? What? Man children? Because you can say man child, but then if it's multiple, is it man children or man childs? Or men child? Man children. Okay, let's go. Insect. I'm so typically if I want to do this kind of stuff here, then I would gather some reference and use. You can't see what I'm drawing. There we go. There we go. I would gather some reference and really use that and stuff. But I'm kind of just going off my visual library right here, right now. But if I feel in doubt about something, then I will probably look something up, which I am actually right now. Dragonfly. I kind of want to look at a dragonfly. Dragonfly. Insects. What about something moth-like? What's the biggest flying insect? Well, it used to be biggest flying insect ever. Was it a massive dragonfly? Was that the thing? It could have been. How do I want to show this insect-like creature? So I'm thinking we're gonna use the tail here as a part floating thing, and then it'll have this like wing structure. No, maybe just like that. And then we'll have a head, a little bit dragonfly maybe. Kind of sits underneath here. Like that, and then maybe something. something like that. Then it just becomes way more Dragonfly-like. I don't like that. This is pretty hard. Meganeura, I think. Yeah, I can increase the music slightly. Meganeura was a dragonfly. For some reason they just like getting big. I'm really feeling this thing right now here. I need a different approach. Maybe we need something that I really want that head that's underneath the body, kinda. Maybe it's more like this. It's like kind of bird-like. What if I instead give it like an eye here, an eye here, and then I still want that tail, but I just want to figure out these wings first. So maybe it has this kind of a body thing, and then some of the creatures only really make more sense or become more visible once they have colors. It's bigger, so it probably doesn't need as big eyes. That's typically a feature you'll see, like the bigger the creature is, the less the eyes scale with them. Like the eyes still scale, but relative to the size they grow smaller and smaller. The bigger the creature is, kind of. Oh, we need to make sure I can see what we're writing. What if it has like arms with tiny wings on them to make it more alien? Arms with tiny wings on them. I was thinking to have these like kind of opposite wings below as well. Maybe that's what he meant. Or maybe you just meant like these ones here. Like that, and then like that. And then maybe don't like that. This feels kind of wrong. That definitely makes it feel more insecty. But maybe it's just kind of more related to this kind of a creature here. This, then maybe it doesn't have that eye there. It just has the eye behind that thing there. Then yeah, actually, you know what? That's what we're doing. We're doing it like that, and then it has these bizarre kind of wings here. There we go. That's what I want. And then these things will just become more like that. Then here. Sorry, I made it into a non-insect, but I'll make an insect, I promise. Maybe we just need to do it standing instead. That one's pretty funny. Maybe that's not what it's supposed to look like. Maybe it's... Oh, it just, no matter what, then it just looks cute, you know. Maybe that's okay. That looks a little bit cute. If I give it more eyes, it just becomes very spider-like immediately. But if I do it like this, then I give it a kind of mouth like this. Something kind of like this here. I mean, it's still quite spider-like, of course. Looks like a character from Rasmus Club. Oh yeah. What about something worm-like? I mean, I know it's a desert planet, but we kind of need like a snake-like worm thing. Maybe we can have something here. We can have something that has a very long, bizarre head. Maybe also something in. There should be something in that family there. No, I'd rather do these like the weird, hard ones here. Maybe something that has like really. So what I'm looking at is that I want to make some creatures, right? And I can see these ones have these like hardened features like this. So if I took this and like extended it, that could have been evolved into something much more prominent. I'm sweating from the palm of my hand as I draw on the pen book. Does it damage the device or not? I just put a handkerchief between my hand and the pen book for now. What's the pen book? Pen book? Am I being an idiot? Am I not understanding something? So the tablet, your tablet, like your drawing tablet, and as I draw on this. So you're sweating from the palm of your hand. Are you drawing? Are you pressing very hard on the? Are you drawing very fast? Yeah, I don't know how to actually show you, but how my. So my my palm here is obviously resting, and then I'm sliding across the surface. If you feel like that your hand has a difficult time sliding across the surface, then some people they use these like gloves that just help them slip better on the surface. For me, my hand is fine, but some people prefer that. I don't think the sweat and water from your hand will damage the device. I am a regular abuser of my tablet. I eat on this tablet, which you will just know that everything I've made has been made on a tablet that has been eaten on. I can draw my position. Oh yes, sure, I can do that. Oh my god, I have to do my hand. Right, so here's my pen. Whoop. 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 Do that. Here's my hand. Let's see here. See, my thumb is here. How the hand do I even? How does that look actually from the side? And then I think actually I curl my fingers behind here. Then I think this finger here is kind of touching the surface there, and then fingers there, and then let's see actually how my thumb actually curls all the way over there, and then kind of does this, does like that. Then something, yeah, something like that. It's kind of my arm. Oh no, wait, that's not my arm. I'm so sorry. Oh, there we go. Oh my god. Yeah, this is what I look like. Absolutely. It's just the camera removes all muscle mass. Isn't that the expression? That there you go. That's exactly what I look like. And then, I mean, I can't even draw my bicep. You know, I don't think I can make a Photoshop document with a resolution high enough for drawing my biceps. But I'll try here. You know, just so here is. I mean, how it's not gonna work out. Like it's something. I mean, yeah, you know, it's just not. And you know, the veins have veins. You know, so I have this big vein on my bicep. You know, it's somewhere like this. It's a huge, massive vein. You know, scientists are like kind of. They've been trying to figure out when one of them's gonna erupt, right? And then they will have to cancel planes and stuff in the nearby vicinity. You know that people are like traveling to Iceland now to like see the volcanoes, right? I mean, once my vein pops, then I promise you, like people from all over the world, they will come. So yeah, see, so there's veins on my veins. You know, it's something like that, you know. And so when you're holding your arm, I think it's kind of, that's kind of the thing that you need to really think about. It's like how massive are you exactly? So anatomically correct. That is correct right there. It's like a tree or something. But that's pretty cool. I hope that helps. Oh. There we go. Oh, should I actually delete that one? I'll do like this so that the thing will still exist. New Vesuvius, Venuvius, New Vesuvius, whatever. There's some pun in there. This is a sandworm thing. These are kind of prehensile limbs that it might use for various things. So actually a lot of it has become neck. All this is like neck, basically. Do this now like that, cool. Okay, that feels pretty cool. You know what? Let's give these guys a little bit of color. I know. I should probably define them a little bit more. I'm just gonna give them a quick pass of color. just to get them together a little bit here, bring a little bit of life into them. Okay, so I just want to close all these guys up here. And save. There we go. Schultz is ready. Because I'm thinking, like, I'm wondering if, because Schultz is usually pretty on point with, like, you should save. You have it saved. It's been exactly whatever. And I don't know, because now it's so precise that I don't know if it's like, if he's just setting a timer somewhere and he's just trying to show off. You know, he'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I'm there, or he just instinctively, it just arises in him, he's like, save. You know, my feeling is it's the second part where it's like, save. Or you got it timed. No way. You're not like, or is it an internal clock, or is it, no way you got it timed. That'd be insane. That'd be so cool. Okay, second for sure. Okay. You know, I respect it. Stressing you out. You're like seeing the little star, and then I mean, because I could just be like, if I was just like, oh, random pressing Control S, but are you like looking at that star up there? You're like, it's not saved. It's not saved. It's not saved. It's not saved. It's been 10 minutes. The man must be absolutely insane. He could lose all his work at any moment. You know, anything could happen, and everything would be gone. Exactly. Okay, I see. That's I mean, that is my life. Like, sometimes just, whoa, well, that's gone. That's just gone. It happens. It does happen. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that one could probably be a little bit more defined. That one. We got some decent assortment of creatures now. Just in terms of kind of variation. I want to put a creature in here somehow. Let's see here. It's not like that one fits in totally awesomely right there. I really want to put a creature there. Maybe this guy can just be a little bit smaller. Hi Wick Booth, welcome to the stream. We are doing some creatures. Okay, let's see here. We want to bring in that guy there. This track is somehow quite nice to listen to for working. It's quite soothing. Let's see what we have here. We have a little bit of openings there and there and there. We could probably get past those. Okay, let's give it a try. Bah. Well, that makes sense. There. Wait, what? Where's this one open? That one's open. There, I guess. Okay. That's good enough. No. Okay, we should get this one. And then things like that. Where's the, is this the one? There. There. Select modify contract 5. There we go. Then we'll give it a color here. Really, really? Am I that lazy? Oh, that's not what we needed. Okay, I did miss a bunch of spots here. I understand why it... and we have that beak thing there. Select modifier contract 5. Oh, come on. Okay, I see the errors, but now we're just gonna fix it manually. I'm using this one here. That one's pretty good for putting in shapes. This is just to see a little bit of color, so we know what we've been doing. But you see, we managed to do quite a few creatures already, like in not a long time. They're sketchy creatures, of course, but it's that's kind of the goal here. Okay, let's see. We got this here, we got this here. We got this here, like that. Something like that. And then now we need some colors for these guys. So this guy is gonna be, I don't know, something like this, and then some kind of deserty color. We need like a parrot creature for the X-Pirate. Oh, okay. And then kind of like a deserty color on this thing here. Maybe these things are quite black like this here. Use that it's kind of like a penguin in a way. And then maybe we have something that's a little bit more pinkish. Yeah, so then I can imagine that, you know, this mouth here will be like the desert thing. And then maybe, yeah, also the inside of the mouth will be colored a certain way to make it feel the way it's supposed to feel. There we go. Then we have this sandworm thing here. And does it have camouflage, or does it have camouflage? I'm thinking maybe it has like a reddish tone, at least, especially towards the top here. I'm kind of gonna go a little bit back and forth here. The underside can kind of get this a bit Hello Plexi, welcome to the stream. We're making alien creatures. Okay, let's see here. What if it has this kind of a pattern here? That seems pretty fun. Yeah, like that. That's great. Then we have this guy who maybe he gets to be kind of like a bush or something. Maybe that's his camo, that he's like a bush. Maybe he specifically looks like a plant with a little bit of these like red kind of things on them. Maybe animals think that they can eat it from a little bit further away. They might approach it. That feels kind of cool, maybe. Gives him a little bit of character. Then we have this big shell creature here. He's gonna get to be a more interesting color, maybe. Or does he also just have the redness going on? Maybe he has a similar strategy, actually. Seems like that could have gone... that could have been inherited. Like that. Like that. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then maybe this big guy here. We kind of need some more animals that are in this kind of family of animals, like in terms of lineage, like then this kind definitely it needs a little bit of because we kind of have, so these ones, they're kind of the same, and also that one, they're all in the same kind of tree. then these ones are more aligned with this guy basically, with that kind of a species. Maybe I can. I don't know how. Size-wise, it does feel okay. I like that that one's that big. That's cool. Can this be somewhere else? But it can be up here, of course. But that I don't like that. I'd rather want it to be in the corner. And then we have that thing. Okay. Maybe it can be up here for now. I'll try that. Okay, then we're gonna do this one here. This one's gonna be a little bit more festive, maybe like a purpley color. Like a darker purpley color. Or we'll undercast with a red first. And then we'll get these purpley colors here. Try to get these brighter ones. If we can get them through here. So one attaches there, then they come in like that, and they go out. So maybe we'll do like this kind of a thing. Yeah, like that. Here, maybe that can kind of permeate here. That kind of a thing. Okay. Okay. Something like that, maybe. So they definitely have many red hues here going on, but it makes sense when they're kind of related, and maybe they're using a similar skin structure strategy to survive the elements. Okay. I really want to put a creature in here, so we're gonna do that. It's gonna be a thinner creature, and we're gonna need to make it like that one. Maybe something like this. Maybe something that can carry water in a similar way to like a camel, but maybe it just carries it underneath itself, like this. More hog-like. Maybe that's interesting. Yeah, like that. I kind of like that. That's kind of interesting. Maybe we can. Oh, don't know what I'm doing, but it's not working. Can I ask, was it difficult to build your time management? When I saw your video about game development, I thought, where did you go? Where did you get so much effort and time? Effort and time. So time is one thing. You know, I've kind of tried to design my life in such a way that you know, I try to make as much money as I can with it by working, like the time to work time that needs to be optimal, right? Where like I want to work as little as possible for as much money as possible, basically. And I have a little bit of a passive income, for example, with like some of the courses I sell on my store and other things. So that kind of works out nicely. And then the clients I have from time to time, they pay well, because I provide a good service, but also the stuff that I do for the clients is not stuff that I think other people want to do. Sometimes a little bit more technical, sometimes, you know, I'm more willing to take lots of different kinds of jobs as long as I don't have to work that much and it pays well. I'd rather do that than have a work where I do, oh, that's really close to exactly what I want to do, but then I have to dedicate all my time to it, because in reality what I want to do is do my own things. Like this whole YouTube thing actually started because I wanted to have more time, because I was doing more like client work and stuff. Yeah, so that's just how that turned out. So time it's very difficult, and I'm very bad at managing my time, to be honest. I need time to be able to do stuff, but when I have time I work all the time. Like I love working, so that's never the problem, I would say. Like you know, not working, it's just it's always been like that for me. But I've had lots of people ask me like, oh, where do you find the motivation and like the energy to just work and work? And I'm like, I don't know, I just always done it. I just like working. I'm just very excited when I wake up. I'm like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then I do it. And I think, at least from talking to other people, I think a big thing for other people is that, or the thing I see most is like they're not sure if the thing they want to do is worthwhile, or they're not really sure how they should tackle it. Oh, I'm not sure if this is a good idea, or they're not sure what exactly they should make. And I've always felt like I was always very sure that like, oh, this is the thing that'll be great, and then it'll work out, I guess. I think I never questioned it really. So in that sense, it's not a great answer. It's just, for me it was like that. But if you are the kind of person watching now or whatever who struggle with like, oh, one thing, finding time for personal projects, then there's some life hacks for sure that I can recommend. Like, first of all, probably I'm guessing your phone is it's a time waster for you. Like once you're on your phone, then you're wasting time, most likely. You might be communicating with someone, but you know, I think the phone is designed to not be productive, for you not to be productive, right? Your input on your phone is like your thumb, right, and maybe another finger or something, and it just means you won't be productive on your phone. So I try to get rid of my phone as much as possible, not have it near me, even though now it's next to my computer. But don't go to bed with your phone. Don't wake up with your phone. Just leave your phone somewhere else in the where you live, just as far away as possible. And the computer is different, right? The computer has all these inputs. It's like asking you to be productive with the way everything is set up. And I think I very much feel like that. I'm like, okay, it's productive. Also, I rarely shut off my computer. I usually put it to standby. You should turn off your computer, but the thing about putting it to standby means that when I go to bed probably tonight, I will leave the Photoshop document open. I'll put it to standby. When I open my computer, the first thing that meets me is something productive for me to just jump straight into. So it removes that barrier of entry, basically. Yes, little time optimization stuff. Yeah, I mean, like you'll say, you could also, if you have kids or any kind of other family responsibilities, or people's lives are different, right? Then it can just be really, really hard. I have a friend who is like a part-time writer, right? He has a normal job and he has a kid now, and he's just like, I don't have time for anything, like I just don't. But I have a few days here and there, and then I think he decided, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna figure out a way with my job where I can just have a day off, and then that day is just where I do something, and a day off can do a lot. But then you might also be like, oh, I just really need rest, so you use that day for resting or doing something, procrastination, or maybe you play a game or something, and that, which is all fine. You should spend your time how you wanna, but I think it just takes a lot of time and effort to do what you want to do, probably, I think. My MacBook hasn't been rebooted for almost 2 years. Well, that's, with an Apple device, you can typically just avoid doing anything. I usually used to run a MacBook when I was in high school. That was my daily driver. That was my main PC. And but now I'm running an actual computer. I love your beard, bro. You look like a great artist painter. No homo, just love. Great work. It's okay if it's homo. No hate on homos. That's just not cool. It's like, you can totally also just be like, I would love, that would be a great comment, just like, I love your beard, full homo. Like, okay, great. But I appreciate the fact that you have the straight confidence to comment on another man's beard. There you go. There's work and a need for rest and entertainment. Doing something new, it's very cool, but also very difficult. It's very interesting to follow the development of your ideas and projects. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. It's but honestly, it's like, I think it's really hard. I think it's really hard, and I have it super well. I grew up in like a super fortunate position in that, like, I was born in a Western country, and not just a Western country. I'm born in like Scandinavia, which has a very high, like a great welfare state and those kind of things, which means that if ever I was to stumble and fall, then there's like a government ready to pick me up. I'm very fortunate in that sense. I think about that a lot. And then I think but I'm also very conscious of the fact that I was kind of lucky in a way, and then you I just feel like I really have to make it worth it in a way. I was given the stuff and then just wasting it just feels sad, and people of all kinds of situations, not everyone could do that, but I always felt a certain kind of responsibility, like, okay, I was given this, I should really try to do something with it. It's also why I started sharing and teaching, because I'm like, like that just feels yeah, it almost feels like it's random that it got to be easy for me, right? But yeah, I like that more actually. That's nice. And I'm just very grateful. I'm grateful, and then I do my best to make it worthwhile, and to make something. And my biggest goal, like my biggest dream or goal, is to make something that other people will be like, "Wow, this is great! Thank you for letting me enjoy this," or that's what we want to do. Just make something that other people are like, where, just like, kind of like really, there's lots of struggles and tough times in the world, and sometimes to get through it, or sometimes to feel like you have something in life worth living for, then you need entertainment, or you need the nice things, and I would love to provide that. I really do, because I had like that myself. You see or watch or play something that's just amazing, or experience something, you're like, wow, this is great, and you just want to talk to your friends about it all the time, and you're like excited and ecstatic, and I want to create that feeling. I really, really do. And if I can make money doing that, then that's great, but honestly, if I can't make money doing it, then I'll just get a normal job, and then I'll just try to use my spare time to still do the things that I want to do. Because chances are that somebody is gonna enjoy it, and that's enough. I think, honestly, that's honestly enough. And for me, like, one of the really big things that I would really like to do is make this world, so this like sci-fi world, Black Horizon. I would love to just build it out and make it a big, immersive, expansive thing that somebody can lose themselves in if they really want to. I think this is a little bit too big, maybe. There's a spot right there asking to be Schultz, I am to your sense of shape and color. Oh, I appreciate that. How do you flip back and forth reflecting the image? That's so cool. Like flipping like this. So the way I do it is, there's two methods in Photoshop. Two methods. There's the bad method and the good method. The bad method is going to image rotation, and saying flip canvas horizontal. This flip canvas horizontal actually flips the entire canvas, and it flips your file basically, right? Which is not really what you want technically. You want your file to stay consistent. So instead you can go to view, and then there's this function called flip horizontal, and this just changes the view. Like it just renders the image flipped basically. So so it's super simple in that sense. And then I've set it to a hotkey called Control F. So Control F is flip. Makes sense to me. So there we have the little pick one. Maybe we can do something. Yeah, something like that. Okay. What a smaller creature here. tendonitis? No, I don't. Tendonitis. No, I do not. We talked a little bit about, carpal tunnel and those kind of things earlier in the stream. But generally, I try to maintain pretty good posture and drawing from my shoulder and switching hand positions and stuff from those kind of things. Your setup and posture is criminal. One thing I can recommend, actually, this is a universal thing. I was teaching some students at some point at my old school, and there was this one kid who, I say kid, I mean they're adults, right? But they're younger than me, so kid. And there's one guy, he had switched all the commands in Photoshop, right? So all the hotkeys he had switched in Photoshop, which made it very hard to give feedback, right? Because it's like, wait, so B is not brush anymore. B is, I don't know what it is. So what is brush? W? Okay, fine. What is E? It's not eraser. No, okay, that's something else. Okay, no clue what was going on, right? It was impossible. But he had reorganized all the keys so that they were very quickly accessible around WASD, because that's what he's used to from games. So it's just like pop, 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 click, click, like great. And I'm like, why did you do this? He's like, well, then I can click the buttons faster. I'm like, but you're making a drawing. It's like, how fast do you need to go? And well, it's like speed is important. It's like, yeah, speed is important, but from my experience, the biggest things that will advance your speed is getting better at drawing, understanding what you're drawing, those kind of things, not the hotkeys. Like, sure, that can make some things a little bit nicer, but overall. And the other bigger problem that it creates is that when all the buttons are right around your fingertips, you only have to move your wrist to click the next button or move your finger, and it means you create this very small, precise, often movements in your hand, and small repetitive movements. Those are the ones that are the biggest contributor to destroying your hands and your tendons, especially because they get kind of it's basically repetitive stress injury because you're clicking the same spot many times. So instead, actually, I recommend, if you can, spreading out the keys across your keyboard as much as possible if you really want to do a custom setup. But I think by default, Photoshop's is somewhat spread out, right? So you just have to move your hand a little bit here and there and do different movements. And the same goes for Blender. Blender's hotkeys are very much designed in such a way that you have to click across the keyboard, which I really appreciate, because I get forced to move my hand, and then in the long run, I think my hand will stay healthy, and maybe I'll lose, like 5 minutes in the day of reaching over or something, or maybe less, maybe a minute or something, right? Yeah, it's just, this is a little tip. I've never had any physical pains or issues in my hands. I'm not saying that's the reason, but I think it is. I'm gonna create a little creature here. Maybe the other way. Not literally this one. Maybe we can do something with this one. Yep. Smaller. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Do want to create something over here also. And then you just have to imagine they're all all drawn up nicely and stuff. Then it's that's pretty good. What can we have over here? Maybe we have a two-legged one. Or you know what would be cool actually? It would be cool to have an animal that is kind of like a less evolved version of these guys, kind of like, you know, chimps and monkeys in general, like something that's human-like but not human, and then see where these guys came from. That'd be kind of cool. Those arms are too big actually. Those two are too similar. I don't like that. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. It's a little bit the same kind of creature, maybe. But if I move this about, I can also move the other one a little bit. And this one can become smaller even. Even smaller, I guess. Yeah. Something like that. And then what? What do we need? We need a bull-like creature, I think. Or like a... that. I am getting a little bit tired here. I don't think I can go on super much longer. something. Not so sure. Not so sure about this one. If it was a lot bigger, then yeah, maybe. Maybe we need to move some things around here. Who knows? We'll figure that out. We will figure that out. Oh, maybe this is the kind of thing that sits on this one. That does sound pretty fun. This one was just way bigger. But then it's like all the way. How would I actually manifest that? I don't know what the names are. We need to name these guys. This is a stock hound, and that's all I know. I really want to move that one. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 creatures plus the guy at 12. So I technically need 4 more. That's kind of the goal. And I can definitely put in some more stuff. I just need to rearrange a few things. Some more of that kind of stuff. So we're gonna. Oh, that's the wrong wing shape, I would say. Maybe. Oh, the parrot thing, yeah. I think we talked about this before, but how do you feel about burnout? I just finished the exams for a really busy semester, but I don't have any free time. We start next semester on Monday, so burnout is heavy right now. Burnout. Burnout. I'll save. I'll save. Burnout. I don't know. I usually really get energy from like from working. I'm like, oh, I get excited, and then stuff like this. Mostly I get burnout, or mostly I get tired and don't want to work when there's something that goes too slowly to finish or to make progress. I think especially game development, it kind of introduces that for me a lot, where I really want to make the game and I really want to do the things, but then there's just a few things that are annoying and technical to solve, and I'm like, oh, and I like solving the things, but it's a little bit too slow before I see a result, where drawing is very immediate. It's pretty rare that I receive a burnout with drawing unless there's something I can't figure out. I think more so than being overworked. But I also had times where, you know, I work too much and then I physically cannot. But I would say it's rare for, like, burnout is quite rare for me. I haven't had a burnout in a long time. I think more I just get stuck than burnout. I don't know. It's not the most satisfactory answer, I'm guessing, but it's what I got. This could be a kind of like weird. It's not really a parrot, but definitely seems like an annoying thing that you wouldn't want flying around you. Well, that's basically a parrot, isn't it? Yeah, this one needs to move up a little bit. Then I kind of want to do this creature that is similar to these ones, to be like, okay, where did they come from? now the party just got turned to 11 here. You know the face of Bo from Doctor Who? I do not. I have never watched Doctor Who. It's not. I don't think it's really my thing. Doctor Who. Bo. Oh, like that huge face. No, I did not know about that. But now I've seen the face. So. It's more fun when they're next to it. But in the grand scheme of things, maybe it should be more in here, and then this one can be moved out a little bit. Also be here, and then this could be moved up a little bit. Actually, maybe yeah, that's a good position for it. Then the hound can move up. did like, it's just this one is so big, but I want it to be big, but maybe it just isn't. My sound is probably a bit on the quiet side because of the microphone is a little bit far away, just because more comfortable drawing that way. But I'm losing a little bit of energy here. I think I'm gonna have to end it. But this was pretty fun. There was some good questions today. That was kind of awesome. But I really want to continue this. I was thinking about maybe continuing this on the next stream or something like that, and then probably have moved a little bit further. But the next stream will be on Thursday, so it's not that far away. It's only 5 days away. But then there might not be a stream for. There's 4 more to go. But there is. I'm going to be teaching from the 19th and then 2 weeks forward. There might not be streams in those days. Maybe I can figure something out where I can stream during those days. But I'm not super sure. I'll figure something out. I am trying to release some videos just so there's some content whilst I'm away. But yeah. But otherwise, I think I'm gonna have to call it here and end it here, but we managed to do a lot. Lots of different creatures, super awesome. Lots of great peeps watching. Lots of I feel like there's lots of requests and things that I did manage to get to. We didn't even get to the names, but I had to design like 12 creatures, and my brain is a little bit like, oh right, more stuff, and it's kind of difficult, but still good. So with that said, we're gonna have to end. So we're gonna have to end on this tax evasion thingamajig, and that's just a tradition. We need some advice on how to evade taxes. The way you evade taxes is that you get this guy's life. You just sit underneath the sand, and then if a tax request guy comes and he steps on the thing, then you bite his foot and hide under the sand. There we go. So that's it for now, folks. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Boink.